We are good to go now. RGH is live for episode number 5, and we're feeling good. We got Destiny drama. Cyberpunk comes out with a big crunch drama. Okay? Among Us is taking over the internet. COD cheaters got absolutely spanked, which I can't wait to talk about. And does Sony hate gamers right now? Because it's a little sus, as the kids are saying these days.
Yo, I saw Sony in the vent. Let me just say, I saw Sony vent, bro.
Right?
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. So, really quickly before we get into it, we have a pretty big announcement. Our channel is now monetized. We're getting the hot views on the channel, but the big one is we actually now have memberships. Memberships are going to be the main way that we keep this channel thriving and alive. It allows us to spend more time on the podcast and improving the podcast. If you guys want to support the channel, there is going to be a join button here on the stream. You can click join on there. We have a regular Real Gamer Hour membership that allows you to have emotes in the chat. An example of this would be, I don't know, maybe this one right here that just got posted. Pretty damn cool.
I saw the cackgasm emote as well.
Oh yeah, let's put a couple of them in there.
Oh, I spam those things. Oh yeah,
hell yeah. Gosh. So you can actually have emotes in the chat. You can also have an RGH badge. You can see Radeo, my boy. Rodeo has the RGH badge. Racco just got a membership as well. So this is going to be a pretty cool thing. We're going to be able to do members only chat at the end of stream. I actually figured out how to do it, by the way, guys. There's a button that now that I'm live, I can press it. So
like literally when the stream ends, we're gonna go into members only mode and you guys can have some questions and stuff. People have been asking us for that. You can, if you are not a member, you can feel free to stick around and all that stuff. But hey,
it's one-on-one time with y'all. Yeah.
Right. We want to give back to people that are supporting us directly. And you guys just being here is supporting us. So I would love for you to stay around. I'm sure a lot of the questions that get asked, you guys are gonna be curious about as well. So it's gonna be a fun thing at the end. We have been pretty on the topic, cut and dry. We haven't been doing a lot of interaction with you guys, but now we want to do this now that we've
do
got
a little bit more.
Yeah,
and we also just last episode we got super chat enabled, and you guys were absolutely like incredibly generous with the super chat. Like people going crazy with the super chat, so we appreciate that as well. Again, it really helps us. Like we are funding it back into the podcast for all this stuff. All these designs, they weren't free, if you know what I'm saying. So we're getting all that stuff. But you know what? True Vanguard and MTash, I got something really important to say. Hold on one second. It's just it's a little cold in here, so
oh come on, you couldn't do this before the podcast. What is this guy doing? You know, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to do a 2-man podcast.
Sorry boys, just a little chilly. I was just gonna say everything's connected to my PayPal, but for some reason, like I haven't gotten paid yet, so that's why you guys aren't seeing any money.
Wait. Is that Versace robe?
Where did you get that robe?
I just want to say, like, I don't know why the PayPal payment hasn't come in yet, but when it happens, I'll let you guys know. You know what I'm saying?
bro, Ryan, we gotta talk about. Hold on.
Well, it's just a little chilly in here, boys. Just a little cold.
All right. Do you know what? Whatever. Let's get into the topics. We've done our memes. There's been a bunch of new drama in the Destiny community. Seemingly, it doesn't end. Like it seemingly is every week.
It's on a treadmill, man. It's just always
this
going.
Community, man.
All right. So what ended up happening? What's going on? Why are people talking about it?
So if you're not in the loop with what's been going on this week in the Destiny community, it was like every day had a new development of the story. It's like a new chapter and some crazy drama that was unfolding every single day. So what happened was, hey, you know what? It's been trendy in 2020. Let's start canceling somebody. Let's bring somebody up. And it was Lock and Load Liv this time. If you don't know who Liv is, she streams on Twitch. In fact, recently this year, she's been getting some really nice growth and some consistency in developing her brand and her community, as she's been kind of on the rise. And so what happened was some allegations came out about some racist things she was saying, some backbiting and backstabbing with other female content creators that all came out that were said in these private discords, right? Now, initially, people see this and they're like, they got her, right? Oh, we got her. And so it's a really dangerous thing, but people, they see it, they believe it, and they
And also,
retweet it and they regurgitate it.
She was getting flamed
Oh
hard
man,
for
so this
saying these things.
yeah. So she got doxxed. If you don't know what doxing is, it's when people post private information about you publicly. That's what that means. So that happened. On top of that, she received even death threats. Like, it escalated pretty terrifyingly. But the whole time, from the get-go, from the beginning, she never said, "Oh, I'm sorry about these things." None of that. From the get-go, what she said was, "This is not true. I did not do these things. These things never happened." Now, lo and behold, as the days unfolded and new information came to light, sure enough, people started to show how this video that was tweeted out showing these things she said is a little bit suspicious, and they started to point at things that might discredit and invalidate that information and back up what she had said. And so eventually she said, "Listen, we're going to get the logs directly from Discord." And Velociraptor, who had been feeding this information to the community, realized he'd been had and there was no point in keeping the ruse up anymore, and made an open public confession. "Yes, I fabricated it. It is not true. I made this up, and we did it to get at her." Also included in that was some racist things that she had said about another Twitch streamer, Crusader. So his community is up in arms against her too, and understandably so. I mean, you can't fault people for believing it, but that's what happened.
They used him as a puppet. Like, they used him as she didn't even say this. They just picked a black person in the community and then said that a racist thing was said. That is fucked. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Absolutely.
You know what? I apologize.
Demonetized.
I know. I'm sorry,
boys.
But honestly, that is sickening. That is sickening. And
it is, absolutely.
And the big thing here is, it's not like, "Oh, sorry, I did." That's illegal. That is defamation. What was done here?
Completely fabricated.
Exactly.
It can potentially kill your income. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's fabricated, kills income. You're literally putting information out there willingly. It is a 100% defamation suit. And I don't know if it ever happened, because I'm guessing this Velociraptor kid, or whatever his name is,
He's obviously a kid. It's obviously
exactly
a juvenile, absolute little shit. If
It's a
he ever
nobody.
hears it, like, well, come on, dude, why? Like, what was Logged and Live doing that you're like, I'm gonna ruin this person's life?
Oh,
like,
I don't have 3 viewers. It's her fault. No, like
come on, like, this is so ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And it's something where I think you do got to be at this day and age with especially stuff like that, where it's just coming from one source. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People, you got to realize, where is it coming from? If it's just from one source who apparently has access to those Discords, and there's not multiple people corroborating this, that's very different than, something where there's accusations and there's like multiple disconnected people all having their own stories and even witnesses to these stories. That if you're, reason for an excuse is that a grand conspiracy against you, probably I would err on the side of those accusations are real. But if it's all coming from like one very specific thing and there isn't a lot of corroboration, that is something that you do need to maybe stand back and say, well, let's see, how this goes. Let's see if there's any, truth to this. And in this case, there wasn't.
I mean, it's psycho. It's psycho. It's not even like, hey, let's hold someone accountable. Let's fabricate and defame someone to try to bring down their career. Can you imagine walking into someone's workplace and being like, "This person touches kids"? Like making up such a huge thing to get the person fired. Hey, this person slept with your wife. This person slept with your husband. This person called you the N-word at work, right? This is literally the same thing. Someone has made up such a vile thing to essentially try to cancel someone else. And like, it's terrifying. And honestly, the other thing too now is the fact that Discord messages can be faked in that way. Like, they're not even photoshopped, apparently. Like, they're going into like the CC code or whatever.
That's right.
They're faking Discord messages.
Crazy.
What other stuff can be done? How do you even know what info is correct? This is insanity. Now,
scary.
I know. There's going to be multiple sides to every story, but if someone comes out with some Discord messages or some info, now we have to sit there and think, well, is it actually real? Is it even true? how do we know? Because I would never expect that a Discord message could be faked to that degree. It's terrifying. It's actually
But
terrifying.
also, we got to have, if you're willing to clap, you got to be willing to clap back. All the outrage over this Liv girl should be directed at this Velociraptor kid, right? And in the sense of like, if anyone deserves to be canceled, it's him, not her. And so, like, again, if you just be careful with, I guess you got to be careful with who you come at, sit back a bit, look at the whole story, look for evidence, look for cooperation, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just it's a scary thing in this day and age that, and it's also people are willing to do this. And again, it's like, what did she do? I like nothing that controversial. I can't even think of anything that she would have done that was like would warrant this kind of behavior. It's just, I think, someone just trying to be edgy and just doing it for the sake of doing it.
And now,
and the scary thing is it's people who have nothing to lose too. Like this Bloss guy, had you heard of him before? I mean, most people probably have no idea. He's a literal nobody. That's what makes him dangerous. Is if he decides to set his sights on you, he got nothing to lose. If he gets found out, he feels pretty invincible. Like, hey, no big deal. If I can pull the wool over people's eyes for 3-4 days in a row and ruin her career, I got what I wanted, and I'm not going to lose anything. I don't have a career in content creation. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, though, even Sonic, he was jumping in and being and like really pushing the narrative.
Sonic was a puppet the whole time. Bloss is feeding him the stuff, and he's just spitting it out as fast as he can. Which, in my opinion, is just stupid. It's just terrible. I mean, no hate against him for it, but that's not the play, bro.
I mean, I think he took that opportunity because like she had come after him when he was involved in the sketchy stuff, and he's viewed it as revenge. I'm gonna get my revenge. And it didn't work out like that.
I mean, it just paints the picture of how some of these people are. And I mean, even Ryan, you made a post the other day about like the sweat community, and people, some people gave you some grief. They're like, well, not everyone's like that. Well, there's a lot that are, and a lot of the big names in the sweat community have been exposed for being pieces of trash. Right?
Yeah,
like literally, like not even just like a little bit, like really big pieces of trash.
Like the sweat community, the sweat community is in True Vanguard's comments like, bro, how can you come after that just because it was Lumi and whatever and the entire BSK clan,
right?
And this person. It's like a freaking 3-page essay of all the pieces of crap in that community. Like at some point, you gotta look at yourselves and be like, maybe we as like, if you are someone who it doesn't apply to and you're a good person, and obviously there is like, you gotta like look within your own community and try to like weed out those people, because like holy crap, it's a long list. All right,
and that's the thing. And if I can speak to that for a moment, the heart of my video, and if you actually watched it, it was not necessarily just to put down the sweat community. That was never the goal, and that's not actually what the content in that video is about. I list some things that happened recently in the sweat community that made them look very childish, and I made the point that what they need, and I said this multiple times, like there are some genuinely wonderful people who are super knowledgeable about the game in that community, and they need to find their voice. They need to find leaders that are that can hold them in higher, hold them to a higher standard and give them a better face that's outward facing. But then the real heart of the video, as soon as I move on after that, is really about how what Destiny needs is to get back to its roots of diversity in terms of builds and gunplay and the sandbox. And it wasn't about how the sweat community is stupid and needs to be ignored. It's about how their feedback right now is not what's needed in the game.
True. So I kind of put those words in your mouth there. That is true. That's the main thing is about the game having diversity, because it does feel like a lot of the time there's one gun choice, and that's almost kind of what they want. But if it's not the right gun, that community is very vocal and unhappy.
Auto rifles are according to them, auto rifles complete lack of skill, absolute trash tier weapon. Hand cannons, literal god tier weapon. If you use them, like you're the greatest player of all time, and
with
it's
a
like
hitbox this big. The hitbox is like a beach ball.
92 aim assist on it.
Yeah, exactly. They never want to mention the bullet magnetism, where you shoot if I'm the target and I shoot here with a hand cannon, it will still hit me in the head. They don't mention that. They always forget about that.
Right. Now, I do think auto rifles need to be tuned down a little to the 600s. But yes, diversity as a whole, and they do have a tendency to have and this goes back for years. This isn't just like, oh, this happened to me last week. I'm talking about literally 5 years ago. I'm doing sweats midweek on stream with literally a tournament winning team, a team from the UK that had just won a tournament a couple of weeks prior to that. And we're running scrimmages against them. And I decided I was going to throw on a plan C. I went on a 10 kill streak against that team, and they kicked me out of the scrims and said, we will not scrimmage with you because you don't play the way we like. And I think that mentality has stayed with them for years now. And that's the way that, and they might say, oh, we don't actually want all these things nerfed. We don't actually only want this meta. But if you look at the way they talk, they meme on casuals, they meme on loadouts, they call things, pulse rifle is a dad gun, a fusion rifle is a scrub weapon. And, and the way that they talk about those things, they just continue to push that narrative that it's our way or it's nothing. You're a skillless piece of trash.
Okay.
But I think we've gotten a bit off topic.
Hold on. No. I'm cutting you. I'm saying this. And that's actually funny too, is because you said the dad rifle, and that's like one of the biggest things I meme on. But there are a lot of dads that play Destiny. It's a huge audience. And it's so interesting that a lot of these players are like, screw the dads, dad rifle, no skill. They meme on them because the only audience that they're trying to find or that they can get is other toxic people that want to bring other people down. Instead of embracing the dad audience that's way bigger, and probably you'd have a way bigger channel, they embrace the little shit rats. They embrace that. They do. They embrace that toxicity. And I'm not, you know what, I'll call them out. I've seen Calico really go down this road. I knew Calico years ago. And you know what? I had some great conversations with the guy, but he has embraced that fully. Like, he changed his profile picture to an old man, and like, it's the complete meme. And the audience is out there, but at the same time, they want to be respected in the community, but they will perpetuate and be negative like that all the time.
You know what?
So
I'm going to say, I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm going to defend the sweat slightly with that one topic.
What?
With on the dads, I'm going to say, you're right. The dad community is huge, and there's a lot of 99% fantastic, but the dad community, I will say the one thing is they sometimes invite it on themselves, in that the dad community is super toxic against streamers. It's like, which streamers did you listen to, Bungie? I play an hour a week. You should listen to me. It's like, bro, what?
Okay. Fair.
Some of the dads are very bitter about the streamer community, and it's just kind of like at odds, when in reality, it shouldn't be at odds. It's like, everyone plays the same game. Everyone should be like together in this. Even if you have different ideas for how to improve the game, you're all loving and investing in this one game, and everyone wants to see it improve. Like, there doesn't need to be as much toxicity with, like, just because you play the game differently, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm just sick of I'm really sick of the community's toxicity as a whole. I'm getting really sick trying to figure out who to play with and who to trust. I don't even know if I trust you guys.
There's no toxicity in PvE, my guy. We're just farming Nightfalls, having a great time.
No, World Line Zero. Do we talk about World Line Zero?
Chill. Oh, we don't talk about
all right, you know what? No more Destiny. We're done. We're done. Let's move on. Let's talk about Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Huge
this
article.
Is an interesting one.
Yeah, huge article just came out. Cyberpunk Crunch has been made mandatory by the CEO. He said, hey, everyone, I'm going to get paid a whole bunch when this game comes out and we sell a whole bunch. But guess what? Unfortunately, I'm making the tough decision to force all of you to work an extra day. You have to work 6 days every week. Mandatory. You do not get a 5-day week. You don't get a 4-day week. If you don't work 6, you're in trouble. That is insanity.
Look, I'm gonna defend the guy a little bit here, because here's the thing.
Okay.
All right, this is like, we got controversial caucus here. I'm gonna defend this guy. So the reason this is news, here's the thing: this happens all the time. Like, even I think with Bungie, I remember hearing people like sleeping under their desks for Halo 2. Maybe I'm misinformed about that, but like Call of Duty, all these games, they crunch. They always crunch. Like, it's like you're just coming up to a deadline. You need to get things done. It's just like, I'm sure all of us in our lives, you get up to the deadline and you got to work a lot more, right? So this is not an uncommon thing. The reason this is big news is because the CEO went out of his way to say we're doing everything we can to avoid crunch, and we're not going to be afraid to delay the game, right? And they did, like, multiple times. So the reason I'm going to defend him is that the article, I read his statement on the thing, and he's saying, look, this is on me. I didn't want this. We did everything we can to avoid this. It's just like, we're a few months away. It's not like you have to crunch for 5 months. You got to crunch for a month or so. We want to get this done. We want to be part of the, new console hype, which is obviously huge for everyone. And one of the biggest things that I don't think people understand is in a lot of developers, like they don't pay overtime for crunch, which is messed. But with Cyberpunk, because they're based in, I think, Poland, they are, and it's required by law that they have to. So like these extra days, it's not like people aren't getting compensated. They are getting compensated. Obviously, it sucks to miss a weekend, but like compared to a lot of other companies, like they're still doing a phenomenal job.
Well, and I to back you up a little bit here, I completely understand that necessity to crunch as you get close to a deadline. Because, I mean, let me ask you guys: when fall content drops, are you working 40-hour weeks, bro?
No, you're
that month?
Yeah.
No.
You're working,
like
are you working 60,
days.
70, 80-hour weeks?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we're familiar with it. Did it kill us? No. Did it lead to some of the most lucrative months in our careers? Absolutely. And that's nothing that's even new to content create. I mean, it's not just unique to our industry either. I mean, when I was in university and seminary, and when I used to work at doing maintenance, and there were times where sometimes you had to do work orders 6 days out of the week to get stuff up and running. Like, I'm familiar with that lifestyle. Every now and then that stuff happens. As long as it's not the standard, it's not the norm, and they're treated fairly during that, as long as they opt into it, I think that's important too. Because it does, you're right, it does vary from developer to developer, because we've seen this with other developers, and some of the employees come out and they say it was terrible. We didn't get paid extra, and we got worked to the bone. That, like Apex Legends this season, there's a lot of reports coming from inside of the studio where employees are like, it was awful. I mean, they made us crunch, but there's nothing in it for us other than blood, sweat, and tears, and a product that we're not happy with. But this doesn't sound like that to me.
Yeah, right. Compared to like the horror stories you hear of crunch, which is bad. Like, I remember like Epic Games employees were coming out and saying like, we have to work 100-hour weeks and we're like not getting compensated for it. Like, it's just insane. Like, that is the problem, is like, you hear crunch, and with the gaming industry, it's associated with the worst of the worst, which is like no overtime hours, like absolutely ridiculous hours for months and months and months leading up to a release. But this doesn't sound like as bad as that. But
if you're gonna crunch, you crunch on Cyberpunk in Poland.
You go to Poland to crunch, baby. That's the crunch capital. But like, it also doesn't sound that bad. But again, it does. It's interesting. Like, the CEO said, like, we're gonna avoid crunch. They delayed it before. Like, what is the difference now? Are they just like, is it just because they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're like, if we crunch for a month, we just finish it off, and then we're good, and we're golden, right? Mm-hmm. Or could this all fall apart? Is this like things are worse than maybe we expect, and they're like, I did everything they can to avoid crunch, but the fact that they are doing it, maybe are we gonna see Cyberpunk delayed again?
Right,
that would be crazy.
And like, new console hype, they want to get in before Christmas. I get it, but at the same time, like, the product has to be so good right now because of everyone's expectations. It has to be, I don't want to say perfect, but expectation is high. And so, if they are rushing and mistakes are being made, that's going to be bad. But at the same time, if they delayed it again, it is so big at this point. Does anyone give a shit? They'll be like, all right, I'll play later. Like I'm going to play Cyberpunk. Everyone is saying it. I'm going to play Cyberpunk. There's some other great games launching. Maybe they should delay it. Don't stress out about it, because the marketing is so good, the hype is so high, you can't fail at this point. In my opinion, you can't fail on that game. Even if you delay it, the sales, maybe they're higher. Maybe they're higher because people have, past Christmas, they're back working. Maybe they're saved up a couple extra dollars, and they're more willing to buy it. I don't know.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting, and it's I don't know what it means. Like, I don't know how bad things have to be for a CEO who's went out of his way to say we're avoiding crunch to now be doing crunch. I think maybe it's more dire than we're taking it credit for, right? Like, they obviously do things different over at CD Projekt Red, so we'll see how it pans out. And like, if it gets delayed again, but like, oh man, being a part of those 2 huge console launches in that week. I mean, if it gets delayed, great for us, because we get to cover Destiny and then cover Cyberpunk. Let's go, baby. Delay that. Let's get it out of here.
And it's not that we're necessarily defending Crunch either. I think that we're all in agreement here. We simply just don't know enough about what that's going to look like specifically for them to really make a judgment call here. It's not that we're like, Crunch is okay, work them to the bone, we don't care. That's not what we're saying.
By me defending him, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's like people are saying, like, they're going back on their word and they're the worst company ever. It's like, all right, let's calm down here. I don't think it's that far.
Right. Now, speaking of the biggest game in the world, Cyberpunk, huge. But compared to Among Us, tiny. Bro.
Pathetic, dude.
Dude, Among Us is making waves. Apparently, 60 million people have purchased the game. There's microtransactions. This company made $0 a few months ago, and now they made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, they were losing money.
Right?
They were losing money.
It is insanity. They were losing money, keeping the servers alive. And
that's right.
If you look at the charts, it's not just like a little tick up. It's like a vertical launch. It is a spaceship. Let's talk about it.
Insane, dude.
It's nutty. Yeah, some of these indie games they come out of freaking nowhere. And it's not like this one was brand new either. It's been around for a while.
Like 2 years old.
Yeah.
2018.
It's craziness. In fact, they actually this past weekend, they hit 3 million concurrent players during the weekend. That is mind-boggling numbers right there. Mind-boggling numbers.
That's bigger than CS:GO. Like at their peak.
It's funny because the guys that made it, they literally said they had no warning, they had no inkling this was going to happen. It was just kind of like bro, check your phone, man, check out what's going on with our game. Yeah. Because they were just kind of juggling, okay, who's going to pay to keep it on the Steam store this month? You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to figure out how are we even going to keep paying to have this game out there because no one's playing it. Like
crazy.
There are literally 8 concurrent viewers or players at one time during a whole month to now 3 million on a single weekend. It's just crazy.
It's and it's all thanks to streamers. Like, facts.
Seriously.
It is literally because some popular streamers started playing it, and then obviously their audiences go, well, this looks fun. I could do this with my friends. And it just steamrolls, and it just absolutely blows up. And it's like this,
Isn't it crazy? Messed up? All the content is from the people playing. It's not the gameplay. The gameplay is little mini games you walk around.
It's trash.
All the entertainment is honestly, it's what we're doing in the podcast right now.
Right.
Yo, Kaka, shut up! I'm talking.
Are you kidding me? I saw him do
it. Exactly. He vented.
Exactly.
And it's so interesting because it's actually changing like language a little bit. People are saying sus all the time.
Much.
It's funny because it's got this virality to it. It's got this craziness where people are talking about the game constantly, but they're just in their everyday life. You know, is it sus to do this? Is it sus to do that? And it's so
Fellas,
cool.
Is it sus to whatever? Yeah.
Right? I don't know. That's how you know. That's how you know that a game is truly blown up. It's kind of like the Fortnite with all the dancing. You know, people were doing the Fortnite dances. When something from that game makes it to that mainstream, whether it is language or a dance, that's when you know it's colossally big.
And it's just crazy. And it makes it, and now I think when people see these like numbers, you know, in the past, remember when they paid like Ninja like $1 million to play Apex Legends or something crazy like that? And then people are like, what's ridiculous? Like I would play this game for half the price and they're paying the streamer to do that, right? Like, and you're like, come on, bro. But like, that's why. It's because like
the power of influencers has skyrocketed in the last 10 years.
And it's again like Among Us, like you said earlier, it's a great showcase of again the gameplay is actually pretty trash. Like the gameplay is no one plays Among Us for the gameplay experience. You know what I'm saying? And the reason it blows up is because you have people who are like legitimately funny and talented playing with each other, and it's just like the scenarios you get up to are absolutely hilarious. Like it's just like, you know, our boy Mr. Fruit has absolutely popped off with Among Us. And like watching some of his videos and the way he edits it and stuff, like it's hilarious. Like, and so you have these people who are like, who can just be very entertaining and showcase the game in the best possible light, right? What if you got the 8 funniest people together and played Among Us, and that's what you stream and that's what people watch, and with their friends, like probably not as funny. You know what I mean? But like they're trying to emulate that. Probably still a good time.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, calling someone a liar is always calling someone a liar, and you know, like trying to get out of it. I think it's a universally satisfying and fun game.
I agree. And the thing is, I've talked about this before, actually. It's crazy to see how there's been this shift. Do you guys remember, probably think back 10 years ago, when you wanted to get information about a new game and you wanted to know what it was about, you probably went to these online periodicals, these news sources on gaming. You probably went to IGN and GameSpot, and you went to these kinds of places to get your information. But there's been a shift now, and developers knew that, so they were partnering with those websites. But there's been a change. There's been a shift. And over the course of the last several years, you've seen this transition of power of influence go to independent content creators and influencers on various forms of social media. And people in the industry, they've started to pick up on this, like you're mentioning, with them paying, with Respawn paying Ninja insane amounts of dollars to play their game for his audience. That's not unheard of. Let me ask you guys, have you ever covered a game because a developer reached out to you and offered you compensation to do it? Have you ever done it? I 100% have.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sellout M-Tashed is the king of it, baby.
You're already interested in a game, and then they're like, "Yo, do you want to play a game?" And you're like,
"I was already gonna play it."
Like,
yeah, that's right.
Like, if you insist. But no, it's a great way to do it, because it's like, hey, and if you start having, it's a great way to get your foot in the door. And then if you as a creator have fun with the game, then you'll start covering it on your own volition. And if it does well, like, you'll just start covering it the same.
Yeah. And there have been games that have done exactly that for me, where I accepted a deal, I played a game, and I was like, you know what?
It's good.
I like this.
It's good.
I like this.
I've started playing that Genshin Impact. They didn't pay me, and thankfully the views are good, but I just wanted to play it. But you know, going from your main game, it's a risk. So if there's a game you're interested in, and they're like, hey, here's an olive branch, we'll pay you to play it. It's literally a paid test to see, does my audience like it? They hate it? Yeah. That's fine. Sponsorship over, I go back, you know, revert. But, you know, there's some games out there where they can't afford to do that. They can't play it. But I wanted to bring up another one, now that we've talked about Among Us. Rocket League had a massive resurgence. They've added it to Steam and everything. It's on PlayStation. It's playable in multiple places. But this game went free to play, and now I believe it went free to play, and they got 1 million concurrent players.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I didn't even know they went free to play.
That?
I spent $30. I want a refund.
Exactly. Rocket League blew up. And I mean, I know that the game's popular. I know it was popular in the past, but I didn't realize that it was going to break some Steam records. The growth in it was insanity. And, you know, I think there's microtransactions in the game, so they're going to keep funding it. But it's so interesting, the value of making a game free and how many people jump in. It's such a deterrence for people, and I didn't realize it. Even if it's $5, they're just like, unless it's Among Us, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, right? I think that's such a good point. Like, you have certain AAA games, like Call of Duty is the best example. $60 for the game or $70 for the next gen version. We'll talk about that in a sec. But base game, you have to pay for it. And then, you know, this was in previous years. Oh, DLCs, you got to pay for that too. And we got microtransactions. And it's just like, they are just nickel and diming you for like every cent you got, right? And the Activision is just like sitting there like, woohoo, right? But I think maybe people started to realize, like, what if they just made Call of Duty free? And they kind of did with Warzone. Warzone is free. And that's why it is popping off. Like, Warzone is so much more popular than Blackout, and just because it's free to play, like, absolutely insane. And it makes you wonder, like, is this maybe the way to go moving forward? Is the base game is free and it survives based on the microtransactions and potentially DLC? Because you're right, that barrier to entry of just making it, like, Rocket League was not that expensive, but just getting rid of that barrier to entry, now it's like there's no excuse not to get it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about these free-to-play games with the microtransactions. It's funny how consumers are sometimes, because sometimes it really does depend whether or not you get into a game. It depends on the moment that it drops. Because I remember very clearly being in a position in life where I'm refreshing my bank account balance, 10 times a day. You know what I mean? And so some people are like, oh, the content dropped today, and I cannot spare the cash to invest on this DLC. And so you're out of the loop. And then by the time you're ready to pay for it, you're 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month behind, and you don't feel
like, what's the point?
What's the point? I'm
Why?
not even gonna do it.
Why am I
But
gonna
with
go?
microtransactions, with a free-to-play game, every time there's updates, you're involved. You're along for the ride the whole time. And whenever you have money to throw at that game when you want it, you see a skin you like, you're like, sure, $20 into some loot packages or whatever it might be.
Which is insane. Like, $20 for a skin is such a ridiculous price. Can I just say, like, $20 is an entire like Destiny old expansion. $20
right.
is House of Wolves, and
But
people were, and it's also a Fortnite skin. It's also the Raven skin, and they made and people were eating money for that Raven skin.
Yeah,
dude.
$1 billion, $1 billion in 1 month on the Raven skin. That's insanity. The first month,
it's crazy. And that's because they already know they're invested. They know that they're hooked, and they know that they're not going to get left behind. So there's no cost to them when it comes to that kind of thing. You know, they see the price tag and they decide, is it worth it to me? And when I do this myself, I can't speak for every game, but when I do this myself in a game that's free to play or that I'm already heavily invested in, sometimes I look at a price tag and I'm like, this thing that I want to buy is not worth the price tag that's on it, but all the hours I have invested into this game sure as heck are, and I want that skin. So it's just a way for me to, I do it knowing I'm supporting the developer, I'm supporting the game and future development as well, and I get something cool that I like.
Yeah, like it makes...
That's Path of Exile for me. Like I spent honestly probably 200 or 300 hours playing Path of Exile, never spent $1, and I was like, man, like I almost feel dirty. Like I kind of feel like I need to give back, and I did, and they've got some good quality of life stuff, but I felt like I really kind of owe them because I've been enjoying the game. I think it's just it's a tough balancing act, because if you can't charge for your game when it comes out, you know, are people going to play it? Are you going to have enough capital to keep the servers up? It's tricky because, you know, you don't have that upfront cost. There's cash cows like the Call of Duty that they can charge people and they get away with it. But future games, you almost need to start budgeting for that. We're developing the game, but we also got to keep the servers up and not make any money until people fall in love and start getting microtransactions.
But it's interesting also, like, you know, for Destiny, you know, have you noticed now that it's free to play, people are a lot more chill with the microtransactions. Like, you remember when you had to buy D2, the full game, then you had to buy Curse of Osiris, which sucked. It was a sucky expansion for, at the time, a sucky game. And then Bungie put like 50 new exotic ghost shells in the game. And you're like, why don't we chill with that? Why don't we chill with that, Bungie? Like, come on now. And then people really revolted. But now it's like, hey, it's a new like exotic ornament, or it's in the you know, people like are much more chill now because Bungie has dialed it back. And I feel like I'm sure that Bungie is selling a lot more in the store because people, you know, Eververse was viewed as such a negative thing for so long because they were charging for everything and like no one wanted to spend money on it. Well, at least that's what I've seen.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's like the perceived value of the game. It's the enjoyment factor. If it's a shitty game, they're not going to spend extra money on it, ever, right? You got to be enthralled in the game. You got to be in love with the game. You got to see that kind of value in the product. And you got to know how greedy you can be as a company, because some of these companies are way overdue. They're pushing those limits day in, day out. Bungie did it. COD's been doing it a lot. But let's move on to Call of Duty cheaters. Now, this was a really funny one. This is funny.
Juicy.
Yeah, fill us in, Kakis, because you kind of read in on this.
All right, so here's the story. So, like I said, Warzone has been popping off, but obviously Warzone being free to play, anything that's free to play has a lot of cheaters in it just because there's no barrier. You know, removing that barrier to entry makes it very popular, but it means that if you are a cheater, you can go in, and even if you get caught, you get banned, you just start a new account. No big deal. That's the unfortunate part. So Activision just released a big ban wave. I just saw the tweet. Infinity Ward, let me read this from Infinity Ward official. This came out at when we started the podcast, 7 p.m. So, since launch, the team has banned over 200,000 accounts for cheating across Warzone and Modern Warfare. Bro, that's over 200,000 people with micro penises. Anyways,
That's hilarious.
Including a new wave this week. We are continuing to deploy additional security updates and added backend enforcement tools, zero tolerance for cheating. So they banned another, I think it was something like 20,000 people this week. And the best part is they banned a cheat that was made by this service that claimed it was an undetectable cheat. So they're like, there's no way you're gonna get banned. All these little, little gremlins in their parents' basements that are like, I need every advantage I can get to win in Warzone, so all 0 people can watch my Twitch stream. Those guys all got banned, dude. It's the best thing ever. They installed. They were like, I'm in the clear. Now they're crying about it.
The comments on the forums are gold.
They're crying.
They're absolutely like, I need a refund for this game because my cheat doesn't work. I swear to Bob, that's a thing people said.
People want refunds because their little cheater asses got caught, dude. It's amazing, dude.
You know what's amazing too is you said 200,000 people banned. That's only 1/5 of the amount of people cheating in Destiny right now. So that
I would love to see what that number would look like.
You know what? The player base isn't even that big.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not even 200,000 people playing Trials, dude.
Activision, slide over that anti-cheat, please.
It's an issue in Destiny, obviously. Hopefully they're obviously like the good news is that when developers do these things, hopefully they can share some information, right? And therefore what they can do is that like maybe they can pass some of that to Bungie and they can just get some people. I don't know, but definitely cheating is a problem on Destiny, but this is good news and hopefully it'll just make cheaters be more wary, because if they're thinking, wait, a lot of people I'm sure play both, and if they're like, wait, I got caught in Modern Warfare, I might get caught in Destiny, and then they'll maybe turn Perfect Aim off or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Even the news, I think undetectable. Oh, maybe people are more scared to download it.
Yeah, which is great, which is awesome.
I think honestly, trying to make people scared is a good play. I honestly would love to see some of these companies like Activision, got some deep pockets, honestly lose some money on going after some of these sites like legally. And just honestly, just be like, listen, we got the cash to lose if it means we're gonna bankrupt you and teach you less. Well, we will make a lesson out of you. We will crucify you and let that be a lesson out there, an example for other people that might want to do the same thing to our game.
That's the strat. Yeah, just Activision just like be like, you know what? Let's absolutely bankrupt just 2 of these sites and just. The Activision legal team, I'm sure, is absolutely paid, my guy. The Activision legal team, they don't mess around, bro.
Literally destroy them. Just destroy them.
And then you know what? And then these websites, maybe think twice about like keep.
Maybe I don't want to do this because I don't want to lose all of my money.
Yeah,
it seems rampant though. Like, it's in COD, it's in Destiny. Like, I think there's cheating going on in Apex right now, too. Or there was a ton of it. Maybe it's not as bad right now, but...
There is.
It's every game. It's like, are there that many cheaters? Like, they don't even want to play legitimately? It's odd. It's odd to me. Because for me, that just ruins the game. Like, I don't even use cheats in single-player games because it's like, well, why?
I'm using a cheat since I had a Game Shark, man.
Right? Exactly. GoldenEye, maybe. A couple other ones. Okay, maybe I got a couple rare candies in Pokemon. Like, it's what it is.
It's
the missing number glitch, whatever.
Yeah. Again, like I said earlier, like you guys talked about earlier, it's that removal of the barrier to entry, because it's like I get banned, there's no skin off my back, I just restart an account. Whereas like if you have to pay for the game and then you get banned and you have to pay for the game again, that's a problem.
Yeah,
and I think that's why you see so many cheaters. Like once Destiny went free to play, that's when the cheaters really blew up because of that. So it's a double-edged sword. You get so many more people interested in your game, but you also get so many more cheaters as well. And it's just unfortunate.
All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about Sony. So you guys didn't hear about this as much apparently, but there was an article made talking about Sony and how they might be a little less friendly to consumers. There's kind of a rumbling going on in the community where Sony doesn't seem to be in it for the gamers the way Xbox is. And one example
or
seemingly is right. And one of the examples was games that were on the PS4 not getting a free upgrade to the PS5. And there's quite a few of them, and there's a lot of really popular ones, like apparently the Spider-Man. Spider-Man game apparently is not getting a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5, where there's other studios and other games that, especially with Xbox, they're just getting a free crossover, a free upgrade. If you have the game on one of the older consoles at a lower frame rate, lower graphics, all that, you just get a free upgrade onto the new one. And I mean,
to interrupt, sorry, but like, you know, Xbox has even acknowledged this controversy. I remember Xbox actually tweeting and saying, like, a lot of you are wondering the process of upgrading. Here's the process. And he just say, just buy the game, lol. That's like, I remember seeing that tweet. So Xbox is acknowledging, like, you just buy the game once. You got it for Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox One, like, no, Xbox Series. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, so Xbox has even kind of dipped their toe into a little sassy tweet saying, like, hey, just buy the game with us. You don't have to worry about like getting a whole different version.
Well, okay. An example of this, again, I know we talk about Destiny a lot because it's our main games, but you know, I can play Destiny 1440p on my computer. So the game must be rendered at higher resolutions, even if you can't have that on console, right? These games are all probably rendered into like 4K. No, you might not have access to it, but it's probably rendered there and it would be coded there properly, right? All of the particles, all of the polygons, they must be there ready to go for anyone that is using 4K gaming. So if you're upgrading, what's the change? Especially if it's a digital version or something like that. Why can't I be upgraded? I already paid for the game, right? You've already coded it. You've already made it. Why can't you just give me the better graphics? That is weird. And it happened with that game Control. I heard that game is awesome. And maybe maybe there is some tech stuff going on here that I don't know about. I'm not a game dev. I know that sometimes when we say these things, it sounds a little ignorant, I should say. But if that's the case, why are you charging them again? It seems very anti-consumer. It seems a little greedy. I mean, you know, I know you can release Skyrim on a fridge and the Switch and on everything, maybe a baby monitor, but does it need to be done? I don't know.
I wonder, like, you know, and this goes into like when I remember seeing that PlayStation reveal and being just like, okay, like, and then I was very confused by all the like memes of like all the PlayStations like carrying the Xbox, like the funeral meme and stuff. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. I don't see it. I just see Xbox making absolute moves with the financing, with being $100 less, all this stuff, focusing on frame rate more than the resolution, especially with the S. And I'm not trying to crap on PlayStation. Like, obviously, it's got some good offerings, and like I'm getting both. But like, man, it's just like it seems like Sony's dropping the ball a little bit here. Like, I feel like Xbox is off to an early lead in this next generation console war, just with the value of Game Pass and like Game Pass Ultimate being available wherever. Like, you get Game Pass Ultimate. I got it recently for the PC, but I just got the Ultimate version, and it also includes Xbox Live and for my Xbox, so I can like go and download stuff for my Xbox and the Xbox whenever I get my Series X. It automatically transfers on that. Like, it's just like, it just seems like they are really, Xbox is making moves towards the future, and Sony maybe stuck in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, how come they're charging us $900 per game right now, too?
Exactly.
They're all up in the game prices.
Dude, PlayStation fans are literally like, just, hey, I'll pay another $70 for the premium experience, bro. It's just like, hey, that's what you get for a stronger SSD, bro. It's just like no big deal. I swear, PlayStation fanboys are so crazy. They're probably thinking it's a good thing. I don't know.
So just as a heads up, as we're talking about this, PlayStation apparently tweeted out a couple hours ago that I don't know about all games, but at least for the Spider-Man Miles Morales title, right? They just tweeted out, listen, if you buy it on PS4, you can upgrade it to PS5 for free.
Wow.
So since the episode came out, they tweeted that?
So
a couple hours ago.
Oh, so before we
couple minutes ago, baby.
couple minutes.
Just so we're clear, right? But I did just want to throw that because I saw someone mention it in chat, and I just wanted to pull that up real quick and fact check. And sure enough, that is true.
Well, I mean, good. Like,
so maybe they feel a little bit of pressure here.
They must be because of the podcast.
Although maybe slightly embarrassing to us because we went on a tirade about how bad it is. Also, not embarrassing to us because everything we said was freaking right. Because Sony obviously realized this looks bad. Sony, there are people at Sony whose sole job is to watch what Xbox does and report back, and they probably went like, "This is not looking good," especially after that meme tweet from Xbox I mentioned. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we'll like take a little bit of a loss, but in the long run, it's better for us. And that's what they did.
Well, okay. So the other thing too, though, if that's the case, if they've made this change, is this one of those moments where this is law? This is written in law. In a lot of law cases, they want precedent. They want to see, well, what happened in the past? What cases happened in the past? Why do you believe you can sue? They go by a lot of case law. I mean, I guess it depends where. I'm not going to get into it. Shut up, Michael. Listen, Michael. Listen, Cacus. Listen, Ryan.
What are you talking
about? If they have now changed it, where they're like, all right, you just got to buy the game once. If they've done this now, they can't just go back and be like, okay, but this game you do have to buy, and this game you do have to buy, right?
That's like a good point.
This has to be a change in the climate. If Xbox is doing it now, Sony's hand has been forced. They can't just go back and just be like, oh, by the way, other games are exempt from this. I understand if they're recoding a game, if they're remastering, that's different. But if it's just a graphical upgrade from one system to the other, it's already been bought. I bought that game.
That's interesting because you said they tweeted about it for Spider-Man. Did they say anything about? No, right?
Sorry, what? Which game?
You said they tweeted about it. TV. They tweeted about Spider-Man. Spider-Man. They didn't say anything about Control. So maybe they're just saying it because Spider-Man is the vastly more popular game, and they're like, we're gonna take too much heat. Spider-Man. It's good to go, right? Spider-Man is fine. But does that mean Control fans are like screwed over now just because their game isn't as like? Will they still have to pay?
I don't know,
man. Like again, it's like, are they making an exemption just for Spider-Man, or will this be the precedent going forward? I don't exactly know. Like it's gonna be very interesting to see because often, when you have new consoles launch, you have, especially like sports games do this. Well, they'll have like the new Madden and it'll be on last gen as well, just because so many people are on it still. So like games like that, will that be impacted by the whole upgrading thing? It's going to be interesting to see because I think people will not be happy. I think a lot of people will like buy a game feeling like they can upgrade it, especially like if Xbox is saying, yeah, you can 100% for everything.
Sure. Right. Yeah, because then it comes into question, like, is it the developer that's making that decision or the publisher who's making that decision?
Probably not.
It's such a tough thing. And, I'm hoping that it's better for the consumers long term. I'm hoping that this is a sign of change because, it would be nice to say, hey, I bought the game once. Now, is that the same if I buy the game on PlayStation? Should I have access on Switch? That's a whole nother topic.
Nah, no.
No?
It'll never be like that, dude. I mean, wait a minute. It might end up being like that. I hate to, but Xbox, if you buy it on the Xbox, you get access to it on the PC maybe, because like Game Pass is for PC and Xbox, so maybe there's like a connection there.
Right.
Like if like let's say you buy something in the Microsoft Store on PC. I feel like you might be able to gain access because, like, for Game Pass, like I have Game Pass, and you actually install the Xbox app like on your computer, and it's kind of through there. So, like, I assume you're able to just outright buy games on that. And then again, it's like, am I just buying that for like my Xbox too? I don't exactly know. Someone in the chat said that's already a thing. So it's like,
yeah, it is.
So that connection is going to be interesting. Like we said earlier, it's kind of like PC is like kind of like playing with Xbox and PlayStation, but Xbox, it's like PC is friends with Xbox and PlayStation, but an Xbox and PlayStation aren't friends. They hate each other.
Right.
So it's like PC's in like a bind, or it just kind of gets the best of both worlds for some things.
I wonder what the math would be on if you did get access anywhere and there was cross-play, and how many more people would buy games. Like, it is a very tricky thing. You know, what value does exclusivity have? And what value does mass access have? Because, you know, if you can get Fortnite here and there and on your Switch and on your phone, I'm probably going to buy I'm going to buy that
your Apple phone.
Yeah.
Not on your Apple phone anymore.
Right? But, you know, if I can play those games on multiple things, maybe I buy a skin for it. Maybe I do dive in a little extra because I can play it on my favorite places. I can play it at home. I can play it when I travel. You know, that game has more value. And it's an interesting thing to talk about.
I think ultimately for me, one of the things that's most exciting about all this is seeing all this competition. Like, okay, Sony's sweating and then they're tweeting this out, you know, they're kind of responding. The thing that this shows me is that gamers right now are really in the driver's seat. Like, they've got the power. The power is sort of shifting towards the consumer. It's not like here, Sony and Xbox are putting this thing out there. Buy it if you want it. If you don't, tough luck. Like, right now, they are really competing to see who can get the most gamers, the most real gamers to jump into their experience. You know what I mean? And they are willing to jump through so many hoops and do whatever it takes. Like, the power rests with the gamers right now.
People will ask, like, I see people saying, like, you know, you say that, like, how does competition help consumers? Like, literally right now with the Spider-Man thing, they originally were not going to do the free upgrade. The Xbox embarrassed Sony, and now Sony's like, you know what? Fine. So, like, everyone who is going to buy Spider-Man and like try to do the upgrade and have to pay for it, you all just saved $70. Like, so that's you have this, you know, pretty heated competition right now, and the gamers are going to benefit because, like, you have scenarios like this where, like, they're just trying to out compete with each other. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it for the episode. I think we covered the main stuff. One thing we didn't talk about though was Advanced GG because we were too heated. What's that?
Oh,
you don't know who Advanced GG is. Advanced GG makes some of, if not the best energy drinks on the market. If you're looking for something to be focused while you're doing your homework, studying, or any other activity, we've actually got a nice little discount code for you. advanced.gg/RGH, or use the code RGH at checkout for 10% off. They've got the energy line, which is green tea, caffeine, no sugar though, boys. 0 sugar. So if you're on keto, you use these bad boys. Advanced, thank you for sponsoring us. They're our only sponsor. Any other companies want to hit us up, feel free. But for right now, we vouch for Advanced. Advanced.gg, use code RGH. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're especially looking for like a brewery or some kind of distillery to sponsor us.
Scotch,
any local breweries, we are at like, you know, we're asking, we're gonna reach out.
Anyone y'all got that emote? Use the emote.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Okay,
but,
so
no, we're just kidding.
That's pretty much it for the podcast. Thank you so much. My name's MTashed.
I'm Cactus HD.
I'm True Vanguard.
And we appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the episodes going live on Spotify and Apple. We'll have the audio out as soon as we can. Thank you for following the channel. Thank you for subscribing, and we will see you soon. We are now entering the members only section. So members of the channel, you're able to click the button up there to join and become a member. This directly supports us, and we want to give back. So we've entered members only chat. If you want to talk to us, you got to be a member. Ask us questions, give us topics. What, Cactus?
If you're not a member, feel free to stick around. You're still gonna get to hear us talk. You're just free to chill. Like, you basically members now get to ask us questions, talk to us. Non-members, you just get a longer podcast. You get to chill for longer. Everybody wins. This is the best thing ever, and you're welcome.
Yeah, we can revisit some of the topics. If we get a cool question, we kind of riff on that. So the floor is open. Members, what is going on? Do you have any questions? Or you want to say anything?
Yeah, members, feel free to ask any questions about just everything that's going on in gaming right now. There's absolutely Just crazy stuff. Any tinfoil hat time? Someone
Yo,
said.
yeah, the tinfoil hat never came out tonight.
All right, the tinfoil hat, we do have it here. It hasn't gone on just because nothing absolutely crazy has happened. Right. I did a little bit of a tinfoil video on my channel, just talking about like the whole, the delay, whether the delay was like, is it really, do they really need more time, or did Xbox kind of say, hey, can you get, I just think they were going to delay. I seriously think what happened is that Bungie was going to delay Beyond Light to like some random date, like October 30th, October 15th, whatever. They need a few more weeks. They informed Xbox because they were going to be part of like they were on the Xbox Game Pass on September 22nd, which was the old launch date. So originally they were going to like launch on the Game Pass. So they came to Xbox and informed them of that. And Xbox was like, okay,
actually,
we're going to launch on November 10th. Can you delay it till there and be caught up in the hype? And I think that's what happened. And this is based on nothing other than my guesswork, but I refuse to believe it was a random coincidence that Bungie selected November 10th and Xbox also happened to be launching that day. Like BS. Right. That's no way.
So here's the thing. I think that we all have our like staple thing on the show already. And Cactus, you are undoubtedly tinfoil hat man. Like, I'm gonna go in the conspiracy theories.
I love it, baby. Give me that conspiracy.
Mike's the cutoff. He's the tank top boy.
He's the bad boy. He's the
bad boy tank top.
What's he gonna be banned on this week? Nobody knows.
Keep your daughters away from him, kind of guy. And I'm just over here drinking whiskey the whole time.
Yeah,
right. He's just a drunk, a belligerent.
Notice TV is sitting now because he literally can't stand anymore.
I barely made the whole hour, guys.
He's too dizzy. Yo, really quickly, I just wanted to read out a couple things. So, first member of the channel, our boy. Actually, no, you were beat. Never mind. I think it was Rodeo. It was Jimmy Rodeo. Rocco with one. We have Galen James, who became a member, Dino, Dale, Christopher Sharp. Then Christopher says, hey, here's a $50 donation. Simplicity Alex.
Multiple.
Max came in. Wretched Kitten, thanks so much for supporting us here, as well as Twitch. I see you. Nebula's in here as well. CRB Stomp. Christopher with another 50. We got Chalfie. Christopher with another 50.
Christopher, bro. We might as well just have Christopher Cam down here, bro. He's basically...
Yeah, Chris, we're going to get your picture down in the corner here.
That's right. That's right.
It's just you vibing in the chat. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Landor 5, another 50 for a total of $200. Christopher, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. We actually, we're getting a new badge for our subscribers. We're paying to get that done. So you paid for all the
Christopher's paying for it.
Seriously.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Christopher
funded
paid
it.
for the badge for everyone. But someone else asked an interesting question. They said, do you think that we'll still have the 3 seasons this year after Beyond Light, or are we maybe going to minus one? Because like normally we get a new season in December. So Beyond Light's going to release November 10th and we're going to have 1 month and then December 10th, a new season is going to launch. Like, do you really think that's going to happen? Like, that would be a fast and loose season if it did. And I think that would potentially be harmful because it would take away from the Beyond Light hype if we're on to the next thing so quickly.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good question. I think, honestly, we'll still get the seasons. I think they'll just be spaced a little bit differently throughout the year, and they'll let the new content sit for a bit.
So you think like maybe
I think it'll be a little later.
Let's say like late January, and then we just kind of like move everything down. So like the summer season is more actually in the summer, perhaps instead of launching in June, launches in July or something like that. A little bit closer together.
That'd be good for our vacation. Yeah, baby.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, guys.
Yeah,
I like that we got the guys only cabin too with that hot tub.
Whoa,
I'm gonna be naked the whole time.
Don't leak it.
Yeah.
So I guess
that's a weird thing to say in the context.
Yeah.
Don't leak it.
Don't. Hey, listen. Okay. You want to know some insider DM information? We DM True Vanguard. Me and Natasha were on vacation together, and we were having a great time. So we DM'd True Vanguard and his wife Steph, and we're like, "Hey, we had so much fun together. Like myself and Cheyenne, and like my wife and Tash and his wife. We're like, we had so much fun together. we'd love to include you and Steph and do like all three of us for a vacation. And TV responds with, he's like, hey, I'm not into those swinger things, bro.
We're like,
I'm
bro,
like, what are you talking about? We had a nice vacation, bro. No one's swinging anywhere. Like, what are you talking about?
I was drinking. I even like showed my wife the text. I was like, is this too far? Is this too far of a joke?
Bro,
yeah, he's like, I don't want to bang you. Chill.
She's like, it's on the fence. I was like, I'm gonna send it.
I'm not Grenader Jake here, boys. Like, I don't have time. I'm not,
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I get your reference.
Oh, someone can Google that if they want. So, I want to go back to the Destiny thing really quickly. The big question would be, is the next big DLC at the same time? It's like the Witch's song or Savathun's song, whatever the hell it is. That one.
The Witch Queen?
The Witch Queen? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that in September or is it in October?
I hope if they announce it for September, I'm just gonna assume it's gonna be delayed. Because so far, both they had to delay Shadowkeep and now they had to delay Beyond Light. Like, you guys clearly are not hitting these September release dates.
Yeah.
Like,
but maybe they've hired people. Like, maybe they've got enough stuff.
And they're also changing the engine that they said specifically is gonna let them like work closer to a release.
For the third time that they've changed it.
Hey, well, come on.
If it's in September, maybe they do the 3 seasons and they just a week and a half, 2 weeks less. Instead of 3 months, it's two and a bit. I don't think that's a bad thing. Switching from season to season, by the 2.5 mark, most people are like, all right, I got all the shit.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a bad thing. We have a jam-packed, November going into September. Like 10 months of Destiny, season after season, new activities. I think it would be a really good time. Honestly, I would prefer that.
I also think it's not out of the question that they only do 2 seasons and just like spread everything out into 2 big seasons rather than like 3 jam-packed seasons. Because then the seasons can feel lighter, right? Like, you have only 2 seasons, you get 3 seasons worth of content in 2 seasons. That means those 2 seasons are going to be filled with more stuff. They feel more impactful.
Fair. But
they have tons of weapons.
But does the story
if they're opulence level, like, seasons, I'm behind that.
I'd rather take 2 opulences than have a season of the worthy in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, give me 2 season of opulences, absolute bangers, and get rid of the always crappy. The spring season always sucks, bro. Just scrap it and have 2 banger seasons.
Yeah.
By the way, Christopher Sharp, we do that, but they could not keep up. They'd be on the floor.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
my vote for Rick and
one
Mike
of them
take
drinks
a shot.
White Claws and the other one drinks Mai Tais. Okay.
Yo, come on.
I'm
not even that hard. I'm like, I'll smell the wine. I'll take a sip of wine and I'm fucked. Oh man.
Yeah.
So there's another question here. I want to answer this one. How was paintballing, boys? It was wild. Cactus.
It looked like he had a fun time, man.
He had a chance to come and he's like, I'd be too stressed.
No,
it was
dude,
so sick. It was so much fun. I could have shot Cactus. And he's like, dude, no, I'm not going.
It's because I was like, bro, I just am not a sellout like you. I was
you
just
literally, you just don't want to leave your house and do any sort of physical activity. You're like, what?
Whoa,
running around and paintballing?
Physical activity. Have you seen my man?
Sweating?
Oh my God.
That ain't for me.
I am a physical activity, if you know what I'm saying. Listen.
Lumbering to carry that gut around is pretty physical.
Yo, are you serious?
Bro.
Listen, I couldn't take the sponsorship from freaking Axe body spray because I'm not in junior high. You, on the other hand, you fully endorse it because you actually use the stuff. Trust me, I was on vacation with this guy. Absolutely.
I got the Phoenix on.
This guy is jamming that Axe body spray, my guy. Like, oh my gosh. He and every high schooler that walked by instantly connected.
Well, the best part
soul level
is with Axe, you don't have to shower or wipe, so it's like the perfect.
Wait,
hold on. Oh, yo.
Wait, what?
Well, there goes your Axe sponsorship.
Yo, Nathan became a real gamer. Sem became a real gamer. Thank you so much. Members, we appreciate it. People that aren't members, I know you can't chat right now, but we appreciate you being here. We seriously love you guys so much. Don't feel like we don't love you because you being in here, liking the stream, sharing it, it is incredible. Now, I have a quick question. Brian, did you promote the stream at all today? Because I I kind of forgot. I didn't make a video about it, and
I was the only
I
one
didn't
who
make
made
a
it.
video today.
I was the only one.
I
That
promoted it on stream, but that's it.
forgot.
I was the only one who made a video talking about it. I mean, and so if you two want to let this podcast die, that's fine. I guess that's like fine. But like, I'm trying to keep it alive, baby.
Because the difference is when I plugged it in a video, we got 1,200 concurrent viewers.
Right.
So
Yeah, yours
yours
did trash, dude.
Yo, listen, yeah, Tash gets those viewers, dude. I don't get it. Listen, my channel's dying. I need all the help I can get. You two need to shout this dang thing out. Like, it's not me. Now,
Come play Genshin Impact. It's a good time.
Bro, no.
it is fun. I'll give you that.
I've put like 200 hours into freaking Division 2 over the last like few days. I swear.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, you
For
said you were
some
playing
reason.
it.
I am addicted to Division 2. The reason is because some people from my clan all got it. We like quite a few of us, and so we've all been grinding together.
Except for
today, except for yesterday, because I'm man out, and those jerks wouldn't split the team. Anyways, no, I just keep playing my own. They've just added a lot of stuff. Every title update, they added new exotics and stuff, and essentially, like, it's at a pretty fun. Like, I kind of. And it's more simple to understand. It's simple to know what to go for. There's a bunch of like named items, like named weapons and named armor that have like somewhat unique perks or somewhat unique stats. So like that's what that game needed. That game before, like Division 2 before Warlords and before a few title updates was just like, look at stats until your eyes bleed, bro. But now you have like, I'll give you guys an example. There's a pair of gloves that has like damage to targets out of cover, and it's just a stat, and they're just legendary. Like they're just like the gold gloves. But most gloves can't get that. That is not a stat that other gloves can get. So it gives you a clear goal of like, I want to get these gloves because that's a cracked stat and I need it for my build, right? Again, before they did the name stuff, before Warlords, it was just all stats and it was just like number crunching and it was terrible. But it's in a much better state now. I'm really enjoying it.
Let me ask you this, because I fell out of favor with that game. I played it a ton when it launched. Like I loved it. I was really into it. And I kind of spec'd my whole character out a specific way. But early, when the first raid dropped, what we found was that like weapon DPS was the way to go. And if you weren't spec for DPS, you were screwed. I was not.
Yeah.
Like I was all about my abilities and whatnot. And I loved my build until I got into the end game and I was like, it's terrible.
Yeah, they improved that.
Did that change?
Yeah, the skill builds have gotten a lot better, especially like CC builds. You can just like constantly blind everyone. In fact, you kind of like really want one of those for legendary difficulty. And there's tank builds as well. We have a guy that's running like a really cracked tank build that's he's basically unkillable. It gives armor to all of us. I spec'd into DPS because I just like I'm so skilled with the M and K. I never miss my headshots, and it just really helps the DPS of the squad, if you know what I'm saying. But it's a lot better now. It's really fun.
I mean, I want that game to be good. I loved it. It was the best my channel's ever done. It's just, I felt like there was no end game. I felt like I was getting so bored. It felt like there was no meaning to have this amazing DPS. The only way to
there's 2 raids. Yeah. Like, that's another huge thing, dude. Like, everyone in the clan is, like, looking forward to the raid. I think this Saturday we're going to try for, like, beat the raid. We tried it a little bit. We didn't have quite the DPS, and then all of us improved our builds. Like, there needs to be that light in the end of the tunnel, and that's part of the reason why I started playing Borderlands 3 again, and I immediately stopped, because I was like, what am I grinding for? Like, I got some good gear, and I started melting all the bosses, and I'm like, there's no invincible enemies, there's no raid bosses, the takedowns are a joke. It's just nothing to like look forward to. There's nothing that you're grinding for other than the sake of grinding. So yeah, Division 2 does have that light at the end of the tunnel being those raids. The fact that those, and it's just like, that's something that we've talked about in Destiny, that even if people don't play raids, the fact that it's there and it's like that light at the end of the tunnel is the reason they're grinding and improving the loadout.
Right. They know that there's more beyond where they're at right now.
It matters so much.
It sure does.
It like literally completely killed my hype for Borderlands 3 again, because they finally stopped raising the level cap every 2 seconds. And then, that's the reason I'm playing Division 2 right now.
Division 2 has a great following. It's really interesting, actually. I'm constantly blown away by the amount of newer players that game gets. Because
I have all these free weekends.
I have this video that I made. It was actually a sponsored video that I did with Division 2 back in the day, where they were like, here's what we need you to do. We just would love for you to make a video that just kind of lets players know what to do once they hit the level cap and they go into the end game. And so, what is it? Level 30? Is that what it is? Whatever you hit max level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
40,
yeah.
40, or yeah, 40 now.
Did they raise it? Initially, it was 30.
Maybe it was 30. Forget what I said. It's something.
So I made this video, I was like, yeah, sure. I'm already playing the game. So I was going to cover that anyways. So I made this sponsored video. It is now my second most viewed video on my channel of all time.
Really?
I have one Destiny video that's above it, but other than that video, it's my most viewed video. It's a Division 2 video. And there's so many people. I still get comments to this day all the time where people are like, thank you so much. I picked up this game on a whim. I hit the level cap and I had no idea what to do. Bro. And I get that comment like literally every week. I'm getting new comments on people are like, oh, thank you. I had no idea what to do once I hit the level cap. It's crazy.
You guys get sponsored videos all the time to do those guides. Me, the guide guy, never does. Or like I never.
Well, it's because it's scientifically proven that you get more deals if you have a bigger.
Whoa! I was gonna say make better content, but I mean, in this case, both are true.
Hey, stop talking about the size of your CPU, bro. Like we know you got that. Just come on, we don't care, bro. Come on. Like,
all right. Well, that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you so much. We got Christopher Sharp gave another $50 donation. Sem, Nathaniel, C-Spike, Dale with a $2, Mod Sith, Azriel. Thank you guys so much for all the donations, all the support. We've got 16 members. It's a new record that actually unlocks a couple of emote slots. So we're going to get some new emotes in the channel. And we seriously
suggestions.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We want there's a members only like chat thing like where members can go and like talk in the community tab.
Yeah,
we'll fill those with emote. Yeah, and post in the community. Fill those with emote suggestions. We are down. We got a lot to go. We probably just have some more of like booze and whiskey for TV, so everyone can encourage his clear problem. But
y'all over here working out your muscles. I'm working out my liver.
Just get a DUI emo.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. God. He's responsible. He's handsome. He's my boy. We just got another $50 donation. We're gonna make 100 emotes at this rate. Jesus.
Yeah, crazy.
Christopher, thank you.
Is there an emote where we can do where it's like a kid asking why daddy always acts different?
Thanks for using that emote.
All right. Love it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later, y'all.